Graphing linear equations. This is a review of part 7. In today's lesson, students will review how to graph a system of equations that have the same slope, so the lines are parallel. The lines are what? Very good. So let's review how to graph a system of equations that have the same slope, so they're parallel lines, okay? We have two lines that we are going to graph. You're going to see two equations. The first one is y equals x minus 3, and the second equation is y equals x plus 3. And remember, y equals mx plus b. So we're asked to identify the slope, which is m. Slope is what? M. And we're supposed to identify the y-intercept, which is b. What letter is the y-intercept? It's b. So let's take a look at these equations. Do you see a slope here? Do you? It is invisible. Do you know what it is? It's 1, right? So I'm going to go ahead and put 1, x. And what about here? You know they have the same slope, so if the top line has a slope of 1, then the bottom line also has a slope of 1. Now, when we make the slope a fraction, it's rise over run. What slope? Rise over run. So the slope, if the rise is 1, what do you think the run is going to be? What do you put under it? A 1. Exactly. It's 1 over 1. Do they both have the same slope? Yes. So for the m's, we're going to write 1 over 1. Now by definition, parallel lines have the same slope, but different y-intercepts. Different what? Y-intercepts. So the top line, let's go ahead and circle it. For the top line, the y-intercept is -3. All right, and for the next line, what is the y-intercept? It's +3, exactly. The reason why those are so important is because you are going to start to graph a line by first plotting the y-intercept. So let's go ahead and begin. I'm going to graph this line up here, 1x minus 3. So -3 is the y-intercept. So let's graph 0, -3, and put a point. We got that? Okay. From here, we know that the slope is 1 over 1, which means we're going to rise up 1 and go over 1. Is the slope positive? Is that a positive 1? Yes. So we're going to go up 1, over 1, and we can continue going up 1, over 1. Could we also go down 1 and over 1 to the left? Yes, and down 1 and over 1 to the left. So I can keep plotting these points, right, forever, because that's why it's a linear equation. The more points that you plot, the straighter and more accurate your line is going to be. So make sure that you get a ruler and connect the points to make a line. Remember that you want to label your graph y equals x. You don't have to put the 1 there because it's invisible. -3. Now let's graph the second line. The second line, the y-intercept starts where? What's the y-intercept? It's +3. So we're going to start at 0, 1, 2, 3. And again, go up 1 and over to the right 1. Up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1. We can also go in the negative direction. Down 1 to the left 1, down 1, over 1 to the left, and so on. Okay? The more points that you have, the better. So we're going to connect the points to make a line. What do you notice about these two lines? They are what? They are parallel. Remember, at the top of this line, we're going to write the equation y equals x. What's the y-intercept here? Remember, it's +3. So these lines are parallel because they have the same slope, but different y-intercepts. Go ahead and get that down. Number 2, the next system of equations we're going to be graphing are y equals 1/3 x plus 2 and y equals 1/3 x minus 3. We identify two things. We're going to identify the slope and the what? Slope and the y-intercept. So what do you notice about the slopes? Are the slopes the same? They're both what? 1/3, right? 1/3. So we're going to say that the slopes are both 1/3, which means we're going to rise up 1 and run over 3. What about the y-intercepts? Are they different? Let's look at the blue numbers, +2 and -3. So for the top, we're going to say the y-intercept is +2, and for the line on the bottom, we're going to say the y-intercept is -3. So now we're going to go and graph both of these lines. They should be parallel. All right, let's start with the first one. Okay, the first one, the y-intercept is 2. So we're going to start, remember, on the y-axis, we're going to go up to +2, and from the y-intercept, we use the slope to graph the next point. We're going to go up 1 and over how many? 3. Over 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we could do that again, or we could go the other direction. Remember that if it's a positive slope, you could also go down 1 and to the left, how many? 3. Okay? You could keep doing that. Down 1 over 1, 2, 3. From here even, you could go up 1 over 1, 2, 3. All of these points will be on the line. Okay? So let's graph that line now. Use a ruler, please. It's very hard to make parallel lines without the use of a ruler. Okay, great. The equation for this line is y equals 1/3 x. Remember what the y-intercept is? It's +2. We all have that? Okay, next, we're going to go to y equals -3. That's our y-intercept. 1, 2, 3. And from that, we're going to use the same slope. Go up 1 over 1, 2, 3. Keep going. Up 1 over 1, 2, 3. And then from any point on the line, we could also go down 1 and over 1, 2, 3. Down 1, 1, 2, 3. Okay? So I know I've normally been using only 3 points to make the line, but you can put as many points as you want using the slope. Right? So then we're also going to have this line. Okay. You're going to notice that these two lines are parallel. Yes? These two lines are parallel. Please write the equation for the line. The equation for the line is y equals 1/3 x minus 3. So go ahead and get that down. Let's look at the system of equations for number 3. So it says y equals -2x plus 4. That's the first line. And the next line is y equals -2x plus 1. What do you notice about the slopes? They are the same. They're the what? The same. They're both -2. But if we write them as fractions, it's going to be -2 over what? Over 1. Very good. -2 over 1 for both of those, which means we're going to actually be rising down 2 and over 1 because this is a negative slope. What kind of slope is it going to be? Negative. All right. Then to start graphing these lines, we have to figure out what their y-intercepts are because the y-intercepts are different. What's the y-intercept in the first line? It's 4, so b is 4. What's the y-intercept in the second line? It's 1. So let's go ahead and graph one line at a time. Starting with the first line, the y-intercept is 4. What's the y-intercept? 4. So we're going to, on the y-axis, go up 1, 2, 3, 4. Plot our point. From this point, where are we going to go first? We're going to go down. Down 2, 1, 2, and over to the right 1. Okay? Down 2 over 1. Down 2 and over 1. You could also go where? You could go up 2 and over 1. Up 2 and over 1 to the left, okay? This is going to have a negative slope. What kind of slope is this? Negative, because the line is going down. Using a ruler, you're going to make your line. There it is. All right? Great. So line number 1. Line number 1 is going to be y equals 2x plus 4. Okay? Let's do line number 2. Line number 2, the y-intercept starts at 1. Where does it start? 1. So you're going to go up to 1 on the y-axis. You're going to continue with the same slope, okay? You're going to go down 2 and over to the 1. Over 1 to the right. Down 2, over 1. Down 2, over 1. You could also go up 2 and then go over 1 to the left. Up 2, over 1. Up 2, over 1. Okay? So, when we connect the points to make a line, what kind of lines are these going to be? What are they called? These are called what? Parallel lines, yes? The equation for this line right here on the bottom is y equals negative 2x plus 1. Will these lines ever intersect? Will they ever cross? No. Okay, so this system has no solutions, which means at no point do they ever intersect. Go ahead and get that down. Now let's graph our last example, example number 4. Let's take a look at our lines. We have y equals negative 5/3 x plus 4, and y equals negative 5/3 x plus 1. So these slopes, are they the same? Yes. We know that these lines are going to be parallel. They're going to be what? Parallel. So to graph them, we just have to identify slope, which is m, and b, the y-intercept. So what's the slope for both of these? What's the slope? Negative what? Yeah, negative 5 on top and 3 on the bottom. Okay? And what is the y-intercept of the top line? It's 4. Very good. What about the bottom line? Bottom line is 1, just like in the last example. Okay, so we start with our y-intercept to graph the very first line. So we're going to start at 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This time, we need to make sure that first we rise down 5. Where are we going? Down 5. And then we can go over to the right. 3. So we're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1, 2, 3. Did you get that? Okay, now I'm just going to go ahead and go the other direction. From the y-intercept, I could also go what? Up 5 and then in the negative direction 3, right? Because I'm making a negative slope. So up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To the left, 1, 2, 3. Great. So there are our points. Let's graph this line with a ruler, please. Okay, there it is. The equation for this line is y equals negative 5/3 x plus 4. Y equals negative 5/3 x plus 4. All right, let's do the second line, which is going to be parallel. We're going to start at 1. Start where? 1. Then where are you going to go? You're going to go down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units, and then over 1, 2, 3. Let's do it again, starting from the y-intercept. Let's go the other direction. Watch, you're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then to the left, 1, 2, 3. So these lines are very close together. They're actually only 3 units apart. So make your parallel line now. And the equation for the bottom line is y equals, same slope, negative 5/3 x plus 1. Okay, go ahead and get that down.